to us and we would have gone ahead. No, but we had to consider every such advice which came in, and also go through the depths of what it would mean, how will it be executed, whether it can really bear the results and so on. Only because whether we choose one way or not, we should know why we have not chosen a particular way and be able to justify saying our understanding was this and that's why we didn't take it. Today I have the advantage of looking back at it and say, good that I didn't take it because the results would have been very different. Right. But the fact remains that we went through every one of the suggestions with equal open-mindedness and
so Nirmala ji, if I look at this budget, coming to this budget, the central theme, and you've elaborated, you've articulated it in your speech subsequently as well, but I would still like to ask this question, that there is a big push to capital expenditure on one hand, on the other you've also given a lot of money into the hands of the middle class and the rich so that there is a consumption boom, all this while keeping the fiscal discipline in place, as you had promised. 5.9%, so that's giving some comfort to everyone. What I want to understand is, what are the few outcomes, big outcomes that you're looking at from this budget?
If well executed, if the states and the center work together, I expect tourism to really see a sea change. Flow of people coming in both from one other states and also from abroad. It should actually be a good way of keeping the economy active. If that is going to be this year and also medium term, I also see the momentum that PM Vikas scheme is coming up with. Because what it does, at least from the way in which I have done this work on understanding that scheme and to see how best it can be tailored, it touches that segment which is sort of self-employed, which has skills, which may be traditional skills, but which are very productively used, and that itself has a huge market, niche market of its own. If by launching PM Vikas, we will be able to touch upon a large section, not confined to any particular few castes which go by the description Vishwakarma, but we are including everybody who uses his hand with some tools, produces things. That's a huge layer which doesn't get covered under A scheme or B scheme or C scheme. Now we're touching them. We are actually giving that material difference of receiving better attention, better raw material, better marketing, better professionalized way of aggregation and so on, with better fair rated credit from bank and so on. I think that layer which has remained unseen, untouched till now, but very recognized because of the quality of products that they produce, will now make a big difference to us. Equally, the push on green is not going to be any less. In every sector, there's been provisions made in the budget for them to do the transition from depending on fossil fuel to a renewable energy source-based fuel. And that will touch every walk of life, not just farmers, not just women in household, both from the point of view of user and also producer. You will generate enough power for yourself and be able to also sell it. And the final but most important, I would think, is the way we are going to shake up, also give life to the self-help women's groups which exists in the rural parts of the country. Some states have extraordinarily done well on SHGs in the last few decades. It's not as if they have been formed only today. A couple of decades they've been on the ground. 81 lakh of them groups exist, and it is they who we are now trying to aggregate, bring them together like clusters, see what they want to do in terms of production or services. For instance, I just bring in a very private sector example. Lijjat, the papad.
Lijjat papad.
All was a women's somewhat self-help group. Look at the kind of product, the quality, the branding, the perception about what is Lijjat can always be superior in quality. There is never a compromise on it, and people seek it even though from the general papad pricing it is slightly higher in
Yes.